Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I want to first start off in the most holy name of Allah, bearing witness that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. I want to greet you all in the greeting, beautiful words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
As you all can see, we are short staffed but not short hearted because we coming too all day long. So we have, look, Brother Mark is doing his thing. And then brother, I wish that we was able to get a live broadcast with brother Philip, because he is like,
let's just say it, Sister Kalila. He's at a celebrity basketball game. This is not just a regular celebrity basketball game.
Sure.
Some of the most conscientious artists in
there you go.
music world are there here in Miami.
Right.
He's present at that event with our student regional minister, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad,
Yes.
who is giving the introduction to that particular program. Their golden child is there.
Right.
Wise, intelligent, of four righteous teachers is there.
There you go.
Sarah is there. So
there you go.
We look forward to some clips or some kind of report,
of
pictures, videos, at least from Brother Philip next week, inshallah.
He can't come back unless we get a full report.
That's mandatory. You will make that happen.
Yes. So and it's a beautiful thing, because again, I just wanted you to also go into a little bit of detail in regards to why this celebrity basketball game is so important, Brother Tony. Because again, we are still out there saving lives. Even if we're not on the broadcast, we are still out saving lives. So, Brother Tony, can you give us a brief description of why this basketball tournament is so important?
Well, I could only speak from I don't know who the main organizers are. I know some of our brothers in the Circle of Brotherhood are also involved in the program. Brother Lyle, of course, the chief operator of the executive operator of the Circle of Brotherhood. But when you're dealing with conscientious artists, in my experience in organizing events with conscientious artists that are involved in programs and activities that bridge the gap with the youth. Our youth absolutely need to see things like that and experience things like that. And they could see that these are artists, and they're cool, but they got a message that they broadcast. And we need to put more of our conscientious artists in the forefront like that. And our student regional minister is there. He's going to be saying some words right in the introduction of it, from my understanding. And he's going to be sharing some words. When our people are anywhere and we have the opportunity to speak among them, it's always a blessing. And we look forward to turning the hearts of our people towards, or closer towards, our spiritual father today, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the guidance that they need and we need to survive in these times. So I could just say that as a testimony based on experience, Sister Kalila, and I pray that there's much success that comes out of this particular program in the community.
Well, praises be to Allah. Thank you. And that was also your introduction.
Oh no, my intro goes like this, Sister Kalila.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna get back with you because you said a lot, but I want to get with my sister down here. You want to get with my sister down here. I think Sister Felicia, one of my other co-hosts, who's always listen. Anytime I say, "Hey, I need," she said, "I got you." And I don't even have to complete the sentence. It's always I got you. And sometimes be in my brain. I be like, girl, get out of there. You
Praise
ain't
be to
even
Allah.
invited. So get out of there. My friend, longtime friend, since 2005. We telling our age.
Yeah.
Okay. Long friend.
Yeah.
Sister Felicia Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam. Okay, Brother Tony, your introduction.
Well, dear family, let's begin properly. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. As you say, Sister Kalila, always.
You breaking up, Brother Tony.
Yeah, you
your
look
mouth,
frozen.
like, open. So you look like you're about to say something, but you look like you're about to eat something at the same time. So I don't know what.
Oh,
okay, there you go.
You back now.
I get back now.
Yeah. Oh man, look what I did to the internet. Whoa.
Yeah, you're about to say something powerful, Brother Tony, because it's like.
Well, of course. Let me begin again. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, the Supreme Being, to whom holy praises are forever due. I am forever thankful to Almighty God Allah for showing his divine favor among us as Black people, the Aboriginal peoples of the earth, raising one from among us and showing that we are indeed favored, showing what the pull of a human being is if we allow ourselves to be raised, if we allow ourselves to submit. And that one that I'm speaking of, that is the pinnacle of example, is the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the exalted Christ, and now Mahdi, the eternal leader of the nation of Islam. I thank them both for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Messiah of Allah's Christ in our midst. Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. Buenas noches, sak pase, free the land, abaragani. Greetings in all of the languages that the chosen people of God speak in.
That's right.
Welcome to Thursday Night Talks, headed up by the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives. The 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives was organized, put together by a student regional minister, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad.
That's right.
After the Criterion message, which took place on July 4th, 2020, delivered by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. At one time, we were warning our people about an experimental inoculation passed off as a vaccine, not a real vaccine, but we were warning our people with facts and information for some time. We still are.
That's right.
We have expanded broadcasting a message of saving lives through the 9 ministries given to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And these 9 ministries were introduced to us in 2005 in the midst of the Millions More movement. Tonight's program, we are focusing on the Ministry of Health and Human Services, which provides for the physical, mental, emotional well-being of the members of the society. The goal of the Ministry of Health is the fulfillment of the intention of the Creator for every human being to achieve his or her potential for both longevity and good health throughout life. Its efforts extend to the family and the community as well as the individual. Tonight's special guest will be speaking to us about how to heal the heart. And
The
we have
heart.
we have some information that we're going to present to our brother tonight, and get him to meditate on some of those facts and information and help guide us to better health and how to repair the heart and whatever is damaged within us, because we have become a damaged people, misguided, taking in the wrong food, taking on the wrong activity, which is causing so much death in our community. We want to restore our people to better health, and we're going to be receiving some guidance from our brother tonight.
Yes,
Praise
yes,
be to
yes.
Allah.
Praise be to Allah. So what we need everybody to do?
Oh,
we need everybody to
you
come on in and
listen,
come
you
on in.
are right.
Come on.
Dr. Love is
Come
here.
Don't be an
Dr.
island to
Love.
yourself.
Dr.
Don't
Love
keep
is
this to
here. Come
yourself.
on.
You
Come
know
on
what you
in.
got to do.
As
Dr.
they
Love
said
is
in the
here.
church,
Do
come
we
on
got to say it?
into the room.
Look, me and you, your mom and your cousins too. Share
That's right.
with your social media community. Bring your family into the living room or wherever you are and share this information with everyone that can benefit from it. And that means everybody.
That's right. That's right. And with that being said, I am going to turn it over to my dear sister.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can
This is Felicia.
you hear us?
We're looking at you. Can you
You're right.
hear us? Can you hear us?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Now we can hear you.
But I can't hear you. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna read it. Here we go.
All
Let's
right,
go.
please.
Let's go. Let's go. I can read
After
lips,
that, you
that's
can
for
try to
sure.
get that straight. Go ahead, Sister Felicia.
All right. So, all the technology. We love you, technology. We appreciate you. Give thanks and praises for you.
That's
All
right.
right. So, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, our guest is none other than Dr. George Love Jr. He is a licensed primary care physician in the state of Florida, and this has been since 1986 as a doctor of Oriental medicine, an herbalist, food therapist, and board certified acupuncturist for 29 years.
Wow.
He is the former dean of Oriental Medicine Studies at Barna College of Health Science in Fort Lauderdale, and is the author of 10 books, including SHIELD, which is an acronym, all right? And he has Your Immune System in 12 Weeks, Meridian Qigong, Ear Reflexology, Massage Your Ears to Health, Guide to Fasting, Internal Cleansing, Guide to Fasting and Internal Cleansing. You Won't Find Love in the Refrigerator. It's a book. Kitchen Physician Guide to Food Therapy.
Man.
Lose Weight with Ear Acumagnets. Florida Freedom Stop Smoking Plan and Psychopuncture. All right. George Xavier Love, aka Jin Woo, is also a Qigong master. He is 13th lineage holder of King Long Qigong. He has a book and DVD that supports his 100-hour certification course. All right. It includes Buddhist Qigong, Taoist Qigong, Tibetan Qigong, Dao Yo Yi Jin Gong, Shizhou Gong, tendon changing marrow washing Qigong, okay? Nijin Qigong, internal force Qigong, swimming dragon Qigong, Wuji Qigong, yin and yang walking Qigong, all right? So working acupuncture drug detox at Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx in New York in 1982, he conceived the idea of ear acumagnets and created his own design and teaches weight release, stop smoking, and pain relief with magnets. Yes, so I definitely have experienced I haven't experienced the magnets, but I've experienced the ear detoxing with the acupuncture. So at this time, let us bring forth
He's ready to be brought on.
Dr. Love.
There he is. There he is.
Dr. Love! Dr. Love, I miss you so much.
You all are all sights for sore eyes.
Dr. Love, oh my God. Listen, first of all, I want to let you know, if you did not, you are a fan favorite. And
Okay.
yes, and you have, listen, we did like a Fab Five, like in December, and you were like on the top 5 of everyone's list. So, wow. Yes. So listen, whatever you've been doing and continue to do, keep on doing it. So, of course, listen, we have, of course, so many questions for you. And we just really want to get right into it. But first, before we go any further, can you please bless us and honor us with a small breathing technique to get the actual show started? If we can all start with a nice breathing technique,
get the chi of the show flowing.
So your exhale should be twice as long as your inhale.
Okay.
So you're going to imagine that you're holding a ball and you're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, and now you're going to exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and now exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do this 4 times. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and now exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is just about 60 seconds, and you all were doing it absolutely perfectly, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth.
Yes.
That was perfect.
I wish I could just bottle you up and just put you on my shelf and then just keep you all to myself. So with that being said, unfortunately, I can't do that. So I have to share. I have to share.
Dr. Love. So we're gonna begin our series of questioning, if you want to call it that. Now, this program here, we're focusing on how to heal the heart. And I thought it was right that we begin with a quote by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, focusing on this very topic. In 1993, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan wrote the book, A Torchlight for America. In it, he focuses on a section of health. This is a direct quote from the book. The number one killer for all Americans is heart disease. The death rate from heart disease is 30% to 60% greater for blacks than for whites. With heart disease claiming nearly 100,000 black lives each year. Dr. Love, I did some research. Guess what? In 2024, those statistics have not changed. Why has heart disease affected the black community, and I'm going to say also the Latino community, the Native American community, so disproportionately?
Is that a question or a statement?
Yes, sir. It is a question.
Why not?
If we could begin with basic fundamentals, 101.
Okay. So let's imagine that I was the Surgeon General of the United States.
Okay.
And my job is to be responsible for providing the information for all citizens, not just certain kinds of citizens. So I would go to the American Heart Association and say, what do you got? What are you guys doing? Then I would go to the cardiology department and say, what do you got? What are you guys doing? And then based upon that and whatever data points that I have collected in my research from the National Institute of Health, I would put together a program. Well, guess what?
What?
They don't have one. They don't have one.
Oh,
So number one cause of death in America is heart disease. And they don't have a program.
wow.
So how many people think the heart is a muscle? How many people think the heart is a pump? The heart is actually a valve. And what makes the heart work is something called the pericardium, which you may or may not have heard of. The pericardium is a membrane that sits on top of the heart. Now, when you breathe in, the lungs expand. What happens when the lungs expand? The oxygenated blood goes out of the lungs and into the heart. And as the blood goes into the heart, because you have two lungs, right? So as the blood goes into the heart doesn't have to do very much for that blood to splash up like a waterfall. And that blood goes into what we call the aorta and the aortic arch. And that has a waterfall, and then that shoots up into the carotid artery. Now, 2022, which was what, 2 years ago?
Yes.
They discovered that the force of the blood was in excess of the force of the pumping action of the heart. So you got to say, wait, what? The heart is not pumping, and yet the blood is like, woo. So what's that? It's the lungs. The more you inhale, the bigger your inhale, then the more oxygenated blood goes into the heart to then get distributed. Now, this is basic. This is not rocket science. This is really basic. The blood leaves the heart. It shoots up like a waterfall. One branch goes to the arms, and then another branch goes to the neck, to what we call the carotid artery. Now, if you turn your head to the side, there's this muscle here, okay? That muscle, yeah, there you go. You gotta actually turn in order to see it. Okay, that muscle is called the SCM, or the sternocleidomastoid muscle for short. SCM for short. So the carotid artery is there, the thyroid gland is there, the parathyroid gland is there, the carotid body. What? There's a gland called the carotid gland. Yes, there is, and it regulates oxygen and carbon dioxide and acid and alkaline. All that's in your neck. You could have taught us that in high school. We went to hygiene. We took hygiene.
Right.
That.
Mhm.
I mean, if I can explain it in less than 5 minutes, you had 13 weeks in one semester. Teach it, right?
Right.
Behind the jaw, if you open your mouth, behind the jaw, there is an opening that goes to your brain. That's where the lymphatic system ends. I mean, well, up until 2019, they thought the lymphatic system ended behind the jaw. But then they discovered it goes up into the brain. You didn't know that? You mean we have to rewrite all the textbooks because you've been cutting on my mother and my grandmother
My God.
because of the lymphatic system, and you didn't know that it went into the brain? Really? I'm supposed to trust you? I'm supposed to trust you with that?
Wow.
Okay. So this is really, really important to pluck your neck. You have to pluck your neck in order to increase blood flow to the brain. How do you heal your heart? Or more importantly, how do you damage your heart? Okay. Now, up until 1865, we were free labor for the United States. Free labor. We got no wages for working. There's no pension plan. There's no retirement plan. We worked until we died.
Right.
Now, hold that thought. We live in America, but there's Black folks in Central America and South America, just like us. Catholic country, Christian country. The average lifespan of a Black person in Colombia was 5 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Average lifespan was 5 years. They worked them until they died, and they just got another one.
Dr. Love, in many of the islands, that's how they did it. It was in their minds, once we were sold, it was a lot more profitable to work us to death than to treat us humanely, quote unquote, and work the rest of our lives.
That's exactly right. And then they called us lazy and shiftless
Right.
and good for nothing, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So one of the ways that they punished us in North America was to take our children away or to have the woman whipped or her man whipped or to sell her children. So that gave you no autonomy over your own body or the people that you loved, your man or your kid or your woman or your kid. So have you heard of this thing called epigenetics?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the premise of epigenetics started with the grandchildren of people who were victims of the Holocaust. And they noticed that these grandchildren had the same physical and psychological health challenges not having gone through the Holocaust. Now, silly question. How long was the Holocaust? How many years?
We're still experiencing it, Dr. Love.
5 years was the Holocaust.
Wait. Well,
For them.
right.
For them, yeah, not
For them,
us. Yeah.
it was just 5 years.
It was 5
Yeah.
years.
We're still experiencing ours.
So now divide 5 into 400.
Right. Ugh. Wow.
Divide 5 into 400. Okay.
Wow.
So the grandchildren experienced the physical and psychological health challenges their parents not having any of the experience.
Wow.
They were not beaten, whipped, tortured, or raped, or had their heads shaved or whatever, had things pushed inside their bodies. Grandchildren did not have any of those things, but they had those things in their DNA. If that is true, then there should be no blame of any Black person for drug behavior, criminal behavior, sexual behavior, or any other problem. There should be none. If y'all are claiming epigenetics, we should get a pass for any behavior. If epigenetics is true, then we should get a pass because we have 400 years of our Holocaust.
Right.
And if a certain person gets reelected, then that person is going to give police immunity, which means if they shoot somebody by accident or on purpose, they will suffer no consequences of their murder if that person gets reelected. Okay?
Right.
And that means they don't have to wear cameras anymore.
Wow.
So, yes, the Holocaust, Tony, has never ended. And so that brings us back to the original question, is why we have heart disease. Did I just explain it to you?
You did. You did.
That's the reason why we have heart disease. Now, you have two men, Black man and a white man. The white man controls his destiny. He has a job that he puts money into a pension. He's got a fund to send his kids to college. His interest rate, his credit rating is so high that his interest rate is so low that he can buy a house and a car for nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
So he's got money to party and travel and go to baseball games and basketball games and buy box seats. We are not in control. The majority of us, I'm going to say 51% of us are not in control of our destiny. That means that we don't have access to education, to higher education. We don't have access to jobs that would afford us the ability to put money into a pension and to create a fund to send our kids to college and to have a high credit rating to get a low interest rate for houses and cars. That's 51% of us do not have that.
Dr. Love, we don't have access to our own original mind. So
Okay, that was my next point.
Oh man, you getting me excited over here. Same wavelength, beloved.
You led me into my next point. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So there's something called the colonial mindset.
Come on.
How we doing, boss? We doing good today, boss?
We.
Put your feet up a little higher, boss. Now, we call that white fragility. So if we make white people uncomfortable in certain spaces, they will call the police on you.
Right.
So I was listening to a talk show, Karen Hunter talk show on Sirius XM, and she had a white guest on, and she said, as a high schooler, her parents, her mother and her friends' mothers would educate them how to put a Black person in their place at their job.
Wow. That was a class inside the house.
So they were training the teen girls. When you grow up and you go into a store or a business and there's Black people working here, here's how you put them in their place.
Wow.
And if none of that works, you call the police and you start crying. This is not
epigenetics. Epigenetics.
Random.
Right.
Modern day.
This is a training. So this woman, I don't know if she wrote a book, but she married a Black man. She said, I don't mess with white people no more. Of course, she didn't use that word. She said, I don't F with them white people no more. I'm in the Black community. And she said, I don't care if Black people give me the side eye because I'm on your side. But there's enough of them out there to tell the truth, so we find out what's what. So to come back to the original question, why do Black men get heart disease and die of heart attacks? Is because they have no control over their destiny. That is the major reason. Okay. Now, I know you expected me to come here and tell you that eating fried foods and
alcohol, no, absolutely not. Not you, Dr. Love.
We're gonna get into that.
Not you, Dr. Love. No,
but
I know.
You hit it at the root.
Listen, and the beautiful thing about this, Dr. Love, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had a series on how to mend a broken heart. Yeah. It had nothing to do with food. Nothing to do with food. It's exactly what you're saying in regards to our destiny, and that our heart is actually in a cave type mentality to where it can't even beat its own drum because it's in a prison.
Our priorities are not made straight because how can we make our how will we know what our priorities are when we don't have our own minds?
So there is a system which I figured out in college. So one of the courses I had to take was called sociology. I don't know. Everybody goes to college. Hopefully,
yes,
you
sir.
took a course in sociology.
Yes, sir.
Read was called Tally's Corner, and this guy got his PhD observing this one particular corner where there was a grocery store and a liquor store and a church and a drug house, and Tally ran the drug house. So Tally could harass the churchgoers, he could harass the liquor store patrons, and he could harass the corner grocery store patrons. He could make life comfortable or uncomfortable for all the residents. And I read this book and I'm like, that is the mayor, the chief of police. You understand? So so they're making Tally the bad guy in this story. And they were saying, well, if he had access to education and, higher education and then he wouldn't be this threat to his own neighborhood. He wouldn't be threatening his own people. And I'm thinking, the mayor does that. The chief of police does that. The National Guard does that. The governor does that. Everybody threatens their own people. You go here, you do that. You don't do this, you're going to get punished. So that gangster mentality is top down. It ain't bottom up. We didn't invent gangsters and gangs, and we didn't invent guns.
Dr. Love, their jobs, in order for their jobs to exist, crime has to exist.
Right.
So yes, crime has to exist in our community. It's manufactured oftentimes, just like, beloved, I know we're going to move towards that in later on in the segment, but likewise with the health industry. In order for doctors to get paid, we need sick people. And so with this industry called the medical or so-called medical industry, it's not about healing people. Like, look, I need to keep having you come back to me so I could get paid. And so this is the symptomatic condition of this society and the world that we're functioning in right now, beloved.
That you're absolutely correct. So I'm looking at it inside out. I'm like, they're trying to control all the people. They don't like Irish. They don't like Italian. They don't like Hispanic. We're not even on the list of don't like.
We've been to don't like a long time ago.
So what's this thing? Planned Parenthood.
Yes.
She was eugenics. There's something called the eugenics movement. And I watched
that came out. Planned Parenthood came out of eugenics
program. Thank you. So I watched 3 one-hour YouTube videos about the eugenics movement and how it got started and how it influenced both Hitler and its extension in Nazi Germany and South Africa and its creation of apartheid, which translated into English is apartheid. Apartheid. So the Germans and the British in South Africa created their systems based upon the eugenics movement, which was about racial purity. Now, the 2 guys at the top that were all about this, they said, we did not consider Black people because there are already laws against them race mixing. So up until 1956, if a white man married a Black woman, they were guilty of a crime and could go to jail and get their house and property seized. Until 1956. That was after apartheid was instituted in 1949 in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they didn't even consider us part of their equation. They were only concerned about white purity. Okay? Now, I got to make a little segue here.
Yes, sir.
There's these Irish Catholics, Irish Catholics in New York. They sent them to Texas to a Mexican Catholic church. So Irish Catholics in New York sent to Texas to Mexican Catholics. The KKK rolled up and said, oh no, you're not letting these Mexicans take care of these little white kids. So non-Catholics, because the KKK were anti-Catholic at the same time they were anti-Jewish. Most people don't know that.
That's right.
They were Protestants. They were not Catholics. So they stole the little Catholic kids from the Mexican Catholic Church and raised them up in the KKK.
Wow. Wow.
This is the mental illness that white people have. This is the mental illness that they have. They're hung up on their racial purity. We don't even count. We're not even considered. Okay? Now, the white boy that went into Charlotte and sat in the church for an hour or two and then stood up with a gun and killed 13 black church members. He thought that was going to start a race war. He believed that black folks were going to rise up and retaliate. The white boy who was in Buffalo, New York, who walked into the largest grocery store in the neighborhood in Buffalo and started shooting people, he thought single-handedly he was going to start a race war. He said, if I shoot these people, then black people all over the United States are going to get up and start killing white people. That's mental illness. Because clearly it didn't happen in Charlotte, didn't happen in Buffalo. So these people are mentally ill. Now, somebody got shot the other day, and people who had no business said, oh, I'm sorry he missed.
Wow.
That's not something you should have said in public. You could have thought it, you could have felt it, you could have said it at your dinner table, but there's no way as a public figure you should stand up and say, I'm sorry he missed. That's mental illness. So there's many mentally ill people on one side as there are on the other side, which speaks to Brother Tony's point about
heart disease affected in the black community.
Mental colonial mindset. That's the point he was making. We don't have our own minds.
Dr. Love, just the way that we began with the breathing techniques, we don't even know how to breathe properly.
And that, I'm so glad Sister Kalila asked me that, because that's how you prevent heart disease, is through breathing.
So that's one of the 4 ways. Okay.
That's one of the 4 ways.
One of the 4 ways.
Now, last night I went to a drum circle. There were 30 drummers, and 5 of them were black.
Oh, wow.
There was 50 white girls dancing. There was 1 black woman dancing.
Wow.
So, So I started making phone calls today. Are there any black drum circles in Miami? Are there any black drum circles in Fort Lauderdale? Are there any black drum circles in Broward County? Are there any black drums? Nope. No black drum circles. We have black dance troops, and there are black drummers that will get together as performers, but not as far as camaraderie, not as far as community. We don't do that. We listen to the radio. We're not out there drumming. Now, when your hand hits the drum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 drums in my living room. When I hit that drum, that vibration goes right to my heart. Drumming does what? Prevents heart disease. Drumming repairs the heart.
Wow.
Drumming creates a vibration that makes the heart open and triggers ancestral memory.
Oh, what? Where my notebook at?
Years ago, I saw this book called The Healing Drum. So I buy the book, I read it from cover to cover. So Yaya Diallo, who was raised in France, in Paris, France, went to all the best schools, became an engineer, was sent to Montreal, and he felt disconnected, from the African community that he grew up with in Paris, because there's a ton of Africans in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal, not a lot of Africans. And he felt isolated, and he quit his job and became a bum on the street.
Wow.
One day he was laying in the alley trying to beg people to buy him beers, and he hears African drumming. Jumps up, runs into the back of the bar, and he's all excited. And he's like, "Can I get a drum? Can I get a drum?" And they're like, "Get away from me, get away from me." And then at the end of the night, one of the guys said, here's a drum, you bum. And he played the drum, and he went to the library, and he became one of the better drummers in all of Montreal. This is 1967, 68, 69. And he became so good that he got invited to this dance troupe. He is still alive. He's in St. Louis, Missouri, and he married a woman who runs a dance troupe. And I paid for him to come to Miami and do a master class in drumming.
Dr. Love, doesn't it seem always like that when many of us we reach rock bottom? At that point, we experience an awakening and we find our purpose.
Exactly. You are so correct. You are so correct. So so that is our issue. So now what can we do about that? What will we do about that?
Come on.
So can we have a drum class? Can we have a dance class?
I would love
Because exercise is the best way to prevent and repair heart disease. Now, I could tell you to run, bike, skate, ski, swim, dance, climb, jump rope. I could tell you all those things. None of those things are fun. Dancing,
Dancing is fun. Dancing is fun. I like dance.
dancing is fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So I teach Qigong. You already know that.
Yes,
So there's certain movements in Qigong that look exactly like African dance. They look exactly like it. So I approached 4 different African dance teachers in Miami, and they were very skeptical, extremely skeptical. And I said, well, I guess you don't have the right mindset. Because you're so stuck, you can't see that there's a medical / healing perspective to movement. You can't see that. So I'm gonna bless you. See you next lifetime. So sing, drum, dance. That's the way to fix the epigenetics and to heal your mindset, Brother Tony.
Yes, sir.
Sing, drum, dance. Sister Kalila. Sing, drum, dance.
Sing, drum, dance. Listen, I am with you. And I grew up, we had a group called Positive People. And we had this drummer, he was called the Mad Drummer. And he brought so much life to our community because we were actually I grew up in the projects, which most of us have. And we had this, event called Come Together Day. But when everybody was all crazy, but when the drummers came on, it was so much healing that was involved. and everybody danced, everybody felt the motion. I mean, and it didn't matter how silly you looked it just you felt you just felt so much energy and vibration that it didn't even matter. But when it stopped, it was like you were in like a time machine for a brief moment, and then it's like, okay, what happened? Because nobody could not find that connection to why they were feeling the way they were, and it was the drums. And we do, thank God, that we do have a Black drum team here in Jacksonville. Shout out to my brother, brother Sinclair, Ryan Sinclair. He heads a 10 drum band of drummers that we have this celebration called the Melanin Market, and he always perform. It's like mandatory that Ryan performs at the Melanin Market, and it gives so much life because he creates the environment for our beginning audience to explore what melanin look like, not just by our skin, but how we feel and how we should feel, and that's by the beat of the drum. So I could not agree with you more. And even if I don't, even if I felt it. So been feeling it all my life.
This is how I knew I was African. I was in the 5th grade in an all-white school, and they brought African drummers to the assembly. You know, so like one day a month they have an assembly, and all the classes, all the grades are in the assembly. I had never heard African drums before. And they brought these guys on stage, and I jumped out of my seat like I was a little teenager and ran. I was in the 5th grade. I ran down to the front of the stage, and I looked around, and I was the only one. And I went back to my seat, and I'm like, either there's something wrong with me, something wrong with them.
Right.
And that's flipped the switch. I'm like, I guess I'm African.
That is so beautiful.
Wow.
I was in shock. Those drums did not move any of those white people, those white students. So, okay, so you're different.
So
We're not like them. We're not like them.
so so Dr. Love, what are some other healing tools for the heart?
Okay.
We already talked about 2. What are 2 more that you can just name?
So I think we need to know a little bit of anatomy. Just a little bit of anatomy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the blood goes from the heart to the lungs for oxygen, then back to the heart for distribution. And so arms, but then there's the aorta that goes to the kidneys. So before the blood is distributed to the rest of the body, it goes to the kidneys to be filtered.
Okay.
So here's the heart. There's the kidney. Here's the bottom of the heart. Here's the top of the kidney. So from the heart right to the kidney, and you have 2 kidneys. So the aorta comes right down the spine, and the last rib, so you have 12 ribs. The last 2 are not connected. They're what they call free floating. And if you put your finger on that last rib and then slide it in, that is the renal artery. That's the artery that supplies blood to the kidneys. Now, I'm sitting in a chair. You're sitting in a chair. How do you sit in a chair? How do you sit in a chair? You sit in a chair like
Poor
this.
posture.
So what are you doing to your renal artery?
Come on.
Smashing it.
Come on.
Suffocating it. Suffocating it.
We're mashing up our insides, but Dr. Love.
Now, where is the femoral artery?
Mm.
The femoral artery is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So how do ladies sit?
Oh.
They cross their legs,
Hmm.
right? And then they cross their legs and then turn.
Mm.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they cross their legs and then they turn. So what are you doing to the blood flow?
Mm.
You're cutting it off.
You're cutting it off. And what do women get in their legs? Varicose veins.
Wow.
Yep.
They get varicose veins. Now,
Yes, sir.
the arteries carry the groceries. We don't know that the arteries have muscles. So arteries make sure the blood gets to where it's supposed to, which is the hands and the feet, the extremities, the head, the hands, and the feet. But how does the blood get back? Through the veins. But the veins don't have muscles. So they call the calf the second heart because the calf muscle literally squeezes the blood back like toothpaste. Like you got to squeeze the tube. The calf muscle literally squeezes. But we sit too much. So ain't no blood. The calf muscle's not working. We are not working the calf muscle. And what is the best thing to work the calf muscle, Sister Camila?
Dance.
Dance. Now, I got something for you.
Okay.
Lift your heels, lift your toes. Lift your heels, lift your toes. Lift your heels, lift your toes.
Yes, sir.
108 times.
108 times. I got to write that
3
down.
times a day. That's 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 times a day, 180.
108, 3 times a day.
108.
He said it's about 3 minutes.
About 3 minutes.
108. 3 times a day. Okay.
Now,
Got it.
talking about the calf muscle, if I grab onto this, so you do you work at a desk in the daytime?
I do. This desk behind me.
This desk behind me. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab onto my desk and I'm going to do 12 deep knee bends.
12 deep knee bends.
Every hour. So I'm going to get my Apple Watch and I'm going to have a little tit. Okay, so how long does it take to do that? 15 seconds?
15 seconds.
Well, 12 times every hour. If I can't find 15 seconds in an hour to do 12 deep knee bends,
We doing the wrong thing in life.
We can't argue that we don't have enough time.
oh, I need an outfit. I need $100 Nike sneakers. Okay.
Wow.
Now we're taught that aerobic exercise is running, right? That's what we're taught.
Right.
Now, of course, I read a lot of books. It takes 8 minutes of running before you get to the aerobic area. Before the aerobic kicks in, it takes 8 minutes. But if you did this for 4 minutes, 8 times forward, 8 times back, 8 times forward, 8 times back. If you did that for 4 minutes at your desk, you'd be pumping your heart. Now, put your hand over your heart and then just move your arm in a circle. You feel that muscle?
Mm-hmm.
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 That's called the pectoralis muscle. Now, put your hand on the back. Now, what do you feel?
Another muscle.
And that's called the subscapularis. And that pushes blood into the heart. So pectoral scapula. So if you do this 8 times forward, 8 times back for 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Got 4 minutes. All right.
4 minutes twice a day. You don't have to go outside and run. You're going to pump your heart. You're going to pump your heart. Now,
A day. We're talking about healing, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. Now, you know I do Qigong.
Come on.
Yes.
This is a teacup. This is an ordinary Chinese teacup. This is coconut water with a splash of tangerine in it.
Oh, that looks so good. I might have to try that. Coconut, because I don't like coconut water. Why is that?
You don't
I need to
or
get.
you do?
I don't.
Well, then put a splash of tangerine in it.
Listen, I'm gone.
Cherry, or a splash of
Tangerine. I am.
Because
I want to love it.
A splash of pomegranate, splash of cherry, or a splash of tangerine in your coconut water. I guarantee you will love it.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so this is a teacup. Now you notice I'm not spilling any of the tea.
Right.
And now I'm going to reverse.
What the heck?
I love. Hold on, let me get this big cup.
Got a crystal.
I'm not even gonna try it right now.
Okay.
My God.
I don't know.
No, I don't drop it. I don't waste it when I tilt it to the side.
Okay.
So it takes practice. It takes practice, but
It
this is what
does.
Qigong is all about. So I taught you the ones first that you didn't need my assistance.
Right.
But I think you would benefit from my assistance if you really wanted to learn Qigong. Now,
Okay.
look at my shoulder, look at my elbow, look at my wrist. I'm not just doing my heart. I'm doing 3 major joints. Now, how do you measure blood pressure? In the elbow.
Right.
Now, how big are the blood vessels in the elbow compared to the blood vessels in the wrist? Wrists are smaller. So a smart man would take the blood pressure in the wrist before the elbow, because if there was a blood pressure issue, you'd identify it here before you would here.
Okay, all these hypertension people, listen up.
So if I use my wrist as opposed to my elbow, what would I do for my heart?
Strengthen it. Lower the pressure. Open up the valves.
Bingo, I would lower my blood pressure by doing this.
Oh my God. Oh wow, this is amazing. And it feels so good. It feels
It does
this
feel
is
good.
literally a workout.
It is a workout.
Oh my God.
It is a workout. And then, of course, you can reverse it.
Okay. Got me on that one.
Okay. So then if you
Hope everybody is trying this at home. Listen,
I'm gonna try that.
you're getting free beautiful techniques that will save your heart and your life.
You could use an orange.
Okay.
Mm.
You could use a 2-pound rubber ball.
Mm.
There's so many ways that you can do this particular exercise. So I don't know if you guys want to get up at 7:30 in the morning and do Qigong with me. I highly recommend it, but that's up to you.
Dr. Love, are you now on Instagram live doing it?
I'm on Instagram when my wife is available. When she's available, I'm on Instagram. But I have my own platform and I have my own class that's live streamed to my own platform. And when she's available, she'll take a 5-minute clip and put it on Instagram.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
so these are so these are live shows.
Yes. These are
Monday
live
through
classes.
Friday,
That he do.
7:30,
Yeah.
8:30.
Amazing.
What's the investment?
$50 a month,
Okay.
which
Oh,
is
that's nothing.
nothing. Exactly. It's like $2.50 a class.
Wow. And this is every day.
Monday through Friday.
Amazing.
Sister Kalila, do we have Dr. Love's website?
Absolutely, we do.
tune
We
in?
do. Absolutely.
So, Dr. Love, this is how what you just talked to us about and showed us and demonstrated, right? With the timing, you just demonstrated the excuse, alleviating the excuse for time, because, of course, according to the CDC, 32% Latinos, 30% Blacks, 29.1% Native Americans are not being physically active. So, what you just showed is the solution, is a solution to that. All right, now.
No heavy lifting, no tearing the elbow, no tearing the shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
no knee replacements, no hip replacements, just this.
So then in the little teacups, what type of herbs you put in there? Sorry, Kalila.
Listen, look, listen. We are one.
Can you power the Blue Lotus, please? So there is a tea that I recommend. It's called Blue Lotus tea.
Okay.
And it's something that I make myself.
Okay.
Ancient Egypt, if you ever look at any of the pictures, there's more pictures of Blue Lotus than any other image in ancient Egypt.
That's true.
That is
Now,
true.
of course, the Ottomans and the French and the British, they killed all the Blue Lotus because they didn't want them to have access. They didn't want them to have access. So the only place now to get Blue Lotus tea is from India.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And you can go online, you can Google Blue Lotus and you'll see the Blue Lotus flowers. So I make my own extract and I sell it 1 ounce bottles.
1 ounce bottles. And we can go on this website and get the Blue Lotus tea.
It's better to text me.
Text. Okay. You see okay.
You see the phone number there. So text me and let Blue Lotus, or
Yes.
I want teacups, or I want a video that teaches me how to do the teacups. Now there are 14 variations to the teacup exercises. So it's not just one, there's 14 variations.
Wow.
And it's going to take you 2-3 months to learn all 14. If you spend 15 minutes a day, once you've learned all 14 exercises, if you spend 15 minutes a day, you will never develop heart disease. Disease.
Dr. Love, that's a mic drop. That's really a mic drop. I think I think you need to repeat that again for the people in the back who still believe that they have to take medicine to cure something that God has given them, and they're dependent on man's medicine to cure them. And you just showed them basically what God has given us, which is the technique of knowledge and healing ourselves within ourselves. Can you repeat that for the people in the back, please?
I certainly, Sister Cleela, I love you. I love the way when you express yourself. You just thrill me. So what she just said, I'm going to break it into two pieces. Okay. The blood pressure test is in your wrist. One time, they're going to put you on medication for the rest of your life.
Right.
For the rest of your life. Like, you can't fix that. Like, oh, you got blood pressure, you're done. The rest of your life. I've taken people that are on blood pressure meds for 20 years. And in 90 days, no meds, no blood pressure, no high blood pressure. So before I go to the other part, in 2011, the AMA said anybody whose blood pressure was higher than 130/90 was considered high. Higher than 130/90. 7 years later, they changed it to 120/80.
Wait a minute.
Money, 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 money.
Okay, you got that figured out. But for the people in the back,
right,
between 2011 and 2017, did the political stress go up or down? Did the economic stress
over life itself?
Did relationship stress go up or down? Okay. Why would they lower the thing for blood pressure when everything else?
Money,
Like,
money, money, money.
Like Sister Felicia said, money, money, money. Okay. So what I did is I measure blood pressure in the wrist, the ankle.
I bear witness.
Now you have 2 arms and 2 legs.
Praise God.
You're going to measure the blood pressure one time in your elbow? That makes no sense. So if I measure the blood pressure in both wrists and both ankles, and I compare the 4, the one that's not in alignment, that's where the problem is. That's where the blood is not flowing. So if the blood is not flowing to a particular part, it can't get back to the heart. So the problem with the heart is not the heart. The problem with the heart is the lack of blood flow. The problem with the heart is the lack of blood flow. So to answer the second part, when I broke it into 2 parts, the second part is if you exercise 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, just for the heart, then you will not get heart disease. Now, we haven't even started about diet. Okay, we got time for the diet part?
Yeah,
okay.
we got to have to, because it's a yin and yang to this thing. It's a yin and a yang.
I'm gonna get the diet part down. So, what are the 5 white devils?
Come on, Dr. Love.
Flour.
Salt, sugar, dairy, white flour, and white animal fat. Those are the 5 white devils. Now, there's got to be 5 white angels.
Oh,
Onions, garlic, shallots, scallions, and leeks.
Leeks.
You got 5 white devils, you got 5 white angels. Those things cut mucus.
right.
So dairy and flour, salt, sugar, animal fat. dairy, flour, salt, sugar, animal fat. Those are the bad guys. And then onions, garlic, shallots, scallions, and leeks. Those are the good guys.
Dr. Love, is it, I mean, just hypothetically, I mean, can we say also ginger? No.
Okay. Now we're getting into medical. I was trying to give free advice that we didn't need a medical diagnosis. But ginger is a medicine, and I can't do that until I diagnose you. So you have to make an appointment. So ginger and cayenne are medicine. I can't just say take ginger, take cayenne, because what's the dose? How much is too much?
Oh, you know what? Let me tell you about my husband. I'm going to talk about that. And I hope he watching. He ain't watching. But listen, he's an old Louisiana guy, right?
Uh-huh.
And he always, everything, oh, you need some, you're coughing, you need some cayenne. You need some ginger. Put the cayenne and ginger together. I'd be like, I don't want to drink that. I don't want to drink that. I'm not drinking that.
It doesn't taste good.
No, and it burns.
I've drank it before. It works.
And it burned. I was like, it gotta be a better way. But it gotta be a better way.
So
come on,
again,
Dr. Love.
dosage is everything.
Right.
Everything. So I can't recommend something without a dosage, which means I need to do a diagnosis. And then I can say, you need an ounce of ginger, 2 ounces of ginger, 4 ounces of ginger. I can't just say ginger. I can't just say cayenne, right? Because there's different strengths of cayenne that they measure in BTUs, British thermal units. It was darn British. So it could be 90,000 BTUs, it could be 50,000 BTUs, it could be 20,000 BTUs. It's all cayenne, but you have to know the strength and the dosage. Now, if you are cold, if you are damp, then you need cayenne. But if you are hot, then you don't want cayenne. If you're hot, you don't want ginger. So that requires a diagnosis. Are you hot, damp, cold, dry, or hot and damp, cold and damp, hot and dry, cold and dry? So now we're getting into medicine. So I can't just throw remedies out there. I was trying to get the free stuff.
No, listen, you own it, because keep in mind, during COVID, everybody was like, hey, they're just throwing everything out, right? So no one never looked at cayenne or ginger to be medicine. They just said it healed. But at what level? Because you can over exalt, yourself in regards to too much. So it was just like, hey, take this, take that, take this, take this, take whatever is in your cabinet. We want to save your life. But you have brought it to us a clear understanding for me that we have to look at this as a scientist and call things what they are. And you just explained it to me, and this is my first time even understanding, but it makes sense that ginger and cayenne pepper is considered a medication versus, your remedy to all, if that makes sense.
Right.
So praise. Okay, so praise the Lord.
So the 5 white devils create plaque in the blood. Now, there's 2 big veins behind your knee. Unless you're using your calf muscles, unless you're walking walking upstairs, treadmill, climbing, dancing, unless you're doing something, that blood is going to have a hard time getting back to the heart. So that's why dancing and drumming is your best thing. Now, if someone already has high blood pressure, if somebody already has limited mobility in the shoulder, if somebody already has aches and pains in their knees or their hips, then I can do an online consultation. You can be in Jacksonville, Atlanta, Chicago, you can be anywhere.
Right.
And I have 3 different things that I can send you for treatment. One of them, I can send you magnets that you can take on the acupuncture point. 2, I can send you patches. These are stem cell patches which wake up dormant stem cells, and I can put those on acupuncture points. And if you're really sick, I have thumbtacks that are 1 millimeter long, and they're taped on, and they stay on 3 days. So I can do acupuncture by mail. So that is a game changer.
You know, Dr. Love, the that acupuncture and talking about the circulation. So I'm an avid go to have acupuncture sessions. And so what I experienced different this time was with the cupping, and they actually put the cupping over the acupuncture point. And
Right.
boy, woo, that circulation, I had
Yes.
so much energy. OMG. And I felt so much lighter. I felt like I could just levitate. Oh my God. I had never had it that way before. I had never had it that way before.
Mhm.
And so,
Doc-
yeah,
Dr.
that
Love,
really helped with
can-
that circulation.
Dr. Love, can I give a testimony about your work?
Please give a testimony.
If you recall, many moons ago, I don't remember the year. Must have been like maybe 12 years, more than that, maybe like about 15 years ago now. Time flies, and I was experiencing high blood pressure, and I was going to these medical doctors, and I was asking the question, well, what's causing it? And they kept on saying, well, I don't know. We're gonna put you on these meds here. No, I want to know what's causing it. And so our brother right here for 8 months treated me consistently. And part of what he did, Sister Felicia, is he incorporated cupping in there, particularly in the kidney area. And so it flushed out a lot of the toxins that were there. And that, along with I incorporated a lot more activity every morning, which I still do. And my brother over here, he guided me to better health. With the moving around, it's absolutely necessary. And Dr. Love, very indebted to you, my brother. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So, Dr. Love, let me ask. Since we're talking about, heart disease, what are some of the symptoms or early signs or symptoms of heart disease?
Well, if you're over 35, you already have it.
Oh, really?
Without.
So I was in the military during the Vietnam War. I was Navy. I was in the Navy, and I was stationed in the Mediterranean. And they decided to do autopsies of people that were killed. They're already dead, shot. But they decided to cut them open for the fun of it. And they found at age 19 to 21 advanced heart disease. Soldiers who were trained, who were physically fit, advanced heart disease between 19 and 21. So back in 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, during that time range, What was the #1 breakfast cereal?
Frosted
Juanita?
Flakes.
Corn
Was it
flake.
Frosted Flakes? I thought it was
Frosted
corn flakes.
Frosted
It was
Another
Flakes.
flake.
It was Tony the
Frosted
Tiger.
Tony the Tiger. Yeah.
What
That
was
wasn't me. Go ahead, Dr. Love.
What was the #1 snack food? Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of bread did they use?
White bread.
White.
Death bread, Dr. Love.
You could take white bread and roll it up into a ball and drop it in the water, and fish would jump. That was our bait when we were fishing. We used bread. We wouldn't
Killer
buy.
dough.
We wouldn't buy. We just throw bread in the water, and when they hit that, okay, I'm getting off topic. So,
No, we need to know that. Go ahead, Dr. Love.
so peanut butter and jelly and white bread. Now, if you had a little money, this is before McDonald's, you went for a cheeseburger and a milkshake and French fries. Okay? Now, ground beef, we already know, is Heart Attack City. And then cheese on top of that. And then white bread on top of that. And then ketchup, which is nothing but sugar on top of that.
They high fructose corn syrup.
So meat, dairy, flour, sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're between 19 and 21, that's what
all
you're
you
eating.
eating.
Right? If you're on your own, if you're not eating mom's cooking, that's what you're doing. Okay. #2, pizza. Pizza is made from
Same damn ingredients.
flour. Now, I remember in the 3rd grade, we took strips of newspaper and soaked them in water and flour, and we blew up a giant balloon, and we put paper over the balloon, and we called that paper mache. And then you pop the balloon and you have this big thing, and then we would paint it. And when you're like in the 3rd grade, it would fit on your head. Y'all don't remember that?
I do. We never put it on our head, but
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
So-
But yeah.
I graduate from high school. I go away to college. I come back from college, and my mother says, "Will you help me clean up the basement?" I said, "Okay." I go down the basement, and I find this stupid thing that I made in the 3rd grade. And I dropped it. I was wearing sneakers, and I was limping. It hit my toe. And I just started thinking, what if that was in my stomach? What if that flour and water was in my stomach?
We just stayed there.
It would stay there. It didn't go nowhere.
And block the arteries so no blood can get through. So then that's when the
glue.
blood pressure.
Flour and water is glue.
Yeah.
The word-
Flour and water is glue. God.
Is Dr. Love, is that the reason why when I if I would eat pasta or some type of dough like that and I drink water,
Yeah,
like
heavy.
my stomach
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
blows up?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pasta translated into English is paste.
Mhm.
Pasta is paste. What's paste?
Sí, es verdad. That's how we call it in
And then-
Spanish.
And
Pasta.
then if you put cheese on top of that, and then tomato sauce.
Bust it up, Dr. Love.
Is tomato a fruit?
Yes, it is.
Sugar is sugar. And guess what cheese is? Lactose. What is lactose? Milk, sugar. So you got glue.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Ding dong.
Glue. You got tomato sugar. Now, when I was I had a couple of part-time jobs, so I would always have money in my pocket. I was never broke, so I always had money. And I remember Gino's Pizza. I would eat all 8 slices, not 6, 8, 8 slices by myself.
Me too.
So when I was 22, I went to one uncle's funeral who died of a heart attack. When I was 23, I went to another uncle's funeral who had a heart attack. And when I was 24, I went to the third uncle's funeral. So I was like, okay, I'm dead. I'm going to have heart disease. And like one uncle was on my mother's side and the other 2 uncles were on my father's side. So you got heart disease on both sides of the family, you're done. I'm like, okay, what? So the first thing I did was become a fitness fanatic. Then the second thing I started doing was fasting. And the third thing I did was go to school. And then I was like, I'm not going to ever have heart disease. So you asked the right person at the right time. I spent my whole life fighting against me not getting heart disease. So I certainly don't want the people I care about to get heart disease.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Doc Love, man.
So let me ask this question.
Okay, because you
check our stats. Check our stats.
I need to copy this interview.
Yes, you do. You get one.
you can
You'll get
definitely
one.
get a copy.
So for those people, because we're going to be transitioning. So for those people that have high blood pressure, all right, to bring some closure, or up leveling rather, how can do they need to schedule an appointment with you to get some recommendations? Because everybody's different, right? Do they need to schedule an appointment with you, or outside of the freebies that you've been given relative to the 4 white devils and the 5 white angels, right? So outside of that, they need to schedule an appointment with you, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So let me explain something to you. So let's say you owned a house and you had a sidewalk in front of your house and the sidewalk was cracked. Would you go on Google and try to fix your own sidewalk, or would you call the person who knows what the hell they're doing?
Honestly, I would do both.
Now, I know a ton of Black men who will call me on the phone and they say, I got back pain, I can't get out of bed. I said, well, I don't do house calls anymore, but if you can get a car ride, I'll hook you up. Don't hear from them. So Black men have a thing that they will not seek help. I don't know where that comes from. Black women, they're like, tell me what to do. I'll be there. I'm going to do it.
Come on.
Right.
But Black men are like, I fix it myself. I know I only got one leg.
Right, Dr. Love.
Okay. So I can't help people that don't want to be helped. Right.
Yes, sir.
If high blood pressure was something you could fix on your own, you wouldn't be talking to me. You would already know about it. It would already be well known.
Yeah, you just really dropped some
50 years with this high blood pressure, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be with somebody who knows what they're doing. Everybody doesn't eat the same. Everybody doesn't move the same. Everybody doesn't eat the same. So that's why you need somebody to hold your hand through the process. Now, the pressure is this. This is the pressure. Is it even? Is the blood pressure even everywhere? No. It's stuck here and here and here and here. That's why we do the blood pressure on both wrists, both ankles. You cannot take your own blood pressure.
Yeah, that was a jewel you just dropped right there. That was a jewel. Yeah, that's a jewel.
Right.
Okay. So that's point number one. Now, I can tell you how to clean out but I need to pinpoint where the blockage is. And then I prescribe the particular exercise that's going to break up that blockage, whether it's your arm, whether it's your low back, whether it's the back of your legs. Now, Kalila, don't look at your ankles. Are your ankles swollen? Don't look.
He said,
look.
"Don't."
You know what? And they are not. But listen, Dr. Love, you know you get me like that all the time. Listen.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
So everybody who's listening,
Yes.
look at your ankles and tell me, are they swollen? Now, there's 4 points on your ankle. There's the left side, the outside of the Achilles. There's the inside of the Achilles. There is in front of the ankle on the outside, and then there's another point, the front of the ankle on the inside. So there's 4 different points. If you use your thumb and you press on any of those 4 points, then I know there's something wrong with your lymphatic system.
Okay.
So I know all what we call the alarm points. So there's pressure points, and I press those points, and you go, oh, ah. The energy is not flowing. The blood is not flowing.
Right.
Okay. Now, there's a 50-cent word that I didn't want to use, but now I got to bring it out. It's called mitochondria.
Yes. The
You've heard of
mitochondria.
it. I'm glad.
Oh yeah.
So mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. It's
Yeah,
also
man.
called respiration of the cell. So mitochondria makes the cells breathe. Qigong is responsible for cellular respiration. Qi is mitochondria. Now, I want everybody who's listening to Google mitochondrial disease and then Google what's the best way to treat mitochondrial disease. And no matter whose website you go to, exercise is always going to be number 1 or number 2, always, which is Qigong. So you have 2 options. You can either sign up for the Qigong class, $50 a month, or you can call and make a consultation so we can get to the root cause of your high blood pressure. And I promise you that within 90 days, your blood pressure will be down significantly. Significantly. No matter how many years you've been on the first thing I'm gonna do is get you off medication. In 3 weeks, I'm gonna have you off your meds. And in 3 months, your blood pressure will be down, also off your meds.
Wow.
So how much is the consultation? What's the investment for the consultation?
The consultation is $150.
Okay, that's good.
That's it. That's not
That's
bad
good.
at all.
Do you remember Dr. Sabi? His
Yes.
first
Yes,
consultation
sir.
was $450.
Hmm.
And his follow-ups were $250. And that was 20 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So I did look at my ankles and they are kind of swollen, right? So
How did
because I did.
How did I
But-
know your ankles were swollen?
I don't know. Tell me.
Your neck.
Okay. You can see my neck on all this.
I have X-ray vision, honey. See through all them red clothes.
Okay. This is why you're the doctor. You're the doctor. Okay, so y'all in my business. I'm just letting y'all know y'all in my business. That's fine. I'm open. So when you notice that, what do I need to do? I guess I need to do a consultation.
Station.
Felicia.
Felicia. Oh my God. Can I get it out, Felicia?
No.
Okay. And I honestly, I work out literally almost every day. I mean, when I say every day. Now, it may not be the workout that I need to, or maybe I've been thinking, I'm telling you, the beautiful thing about the mind and the heart, it tells you when to move. It's really up to you to actually stay there dormant and then blame it on other people outside of yourself. And so I've been doing kickboxing for almost 4 years. I mean, I do it every morning, like 5:30 in the morning. I'm like literally like
very impressed.
Yeah. I do. I mean, I do combinations and everything, kickboxing and everything. And because I do have a job that I sit down, but honestly, it used to be much worse than this before, but because it is a little swollen, it's not as much as it used to be. I know I need to do something else to identify, or to cure this. So I'm just, I don't know.
Schedule your appointment.
Schedule me an appointment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's what I need to do.
So here's the easy answer. Just because you're an athlete, it's not what you do, it's what you don't do in between the workouts.
Okay.
That's the crux.
Okay, so, talk black to me. Okay, go ahead.
You could work out every morning for 90 minutes. But if you don't do anything else,
and that's what you're right. That's it. Because I'm telling you, you see the veins in my hand. My hands is like my feet after I get through working out. So when I sit, I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna come back to my desk, do some more work, go use the restroom, come back to my desk, and stay here. So
that's the thing. So the first thing I showed you was lift your heels, lift your toes, lift your heels, lift your toes. Then I showed you this and I showed you that. And then I want you to come do the class so you can learn how to do the 14 variations of the teacups. And then we'll do leg acupressure. And then eventually we'll either send you the magnets, the patches, or the pins.
All of the above, D.
All of the above. Okay.
Dr. Love, you mentioned something earlier about, or it was, I think Sister Kalila, I forgot who exactly mentioned it, but when we don't feel like really working out.
Oh, I ain't never said
isn't
that.
Isn't that the best time?
That was a question.
Start working out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is what I do. I go in the bathroom and I look in the mirror.
Come on, Doctor.
And I say to myself, who's going to be more upset if you don't work out?
Come on.
Who's going to benefit if you don't go and work out? Who's going to benefit from that? Yeah. Okay, do it. So I might stay an extra 10 minutes in bed, but then I start thinking, how am I going to feel if I don't work out?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't miss a workout.
Yeah. And I was just explaining to my friend because she's in this process of trying to work out, trying to do something. And I said, now you have workouts to maintain, your 3-4 days, and that's just going to maintain whatever you want to do. But if you want results, you have to get your behind up every day to work out. So maintaining and results. It just all depends on what you want to do. Because I ain't back no maintaining. I can maintain somewhere else. I want results.
The ancestors worked all day, every day, no days off.
Right.
Right. So, and we're complaining. And for those of us, so the 49% that are doing well, half of them are self-employed or got a side hustle. Okay. So it's a very positive thing to put investment of time and energy into a second income. Right. But if you're in the hospital with tubes down your throat,
that part.
You know what I mean? So I met this guy. He was closing a deal on a shopping center. His cut was going to be $3 million. And he lived across the hall from me. And I'm like, yo, bro, come get a massage. Come get some acupuncture. Come watch the sunrise or the sunset. No, I got to do this thing. I'm gonna close this deal. A year later, he closed the deal. 3 weeks after that, he had a stroke.
I told her.
And he's in a wheelchair. And I couldn't even look at him. He said, oh, I should have listened to you. I'm like, dude, you giving me nightmares.
Okay.
So how can that be reversed? How can that be reversed once that happens?
Did anybody ever break one of your toy dolls when you were a kid?
Yes.
Did you ever get it fixed?
You would run to your mother or your father.
No, I never got it fixed. I never got it fixed.
Please fix it.
Yeah, no, I never got it fixed.
The Chinese in the 10th century were doing heart transplants. The emperor's mother got a heart transplant. 5 years later, she needed a second heart transplant. The emperor says, we're not doing no more transplants.
Rest in peace, mama. It's been real.
Shut down transplant surgery for the whole country because it's mama. Because they were doing complex eye surgeries. They were doing appendage replacements. The Chinese were up on some stuff.
Yeah.
But the thinking is, you ruined what God gave you.
My God.
A chance, and you ruined that. So no more chances.
Mm-hmm.
You better make do with what God gave you. Right, Brother Tony?
Yes, sir. Dear family,
Wow.
we are fastly approaching the 9 o'clock hour here. And Dr. Love, we love to bring you back.
Always listen, Dr. Love. You know you have to come back, right?
We're going to further this discussion
Send the private jet.
Oh gosh.
Dr. Love, you will always be on my jet if I had a private jet. If I had millions, listen, you and your wife will be right
when
there.
you have your millions.
I get my millions.
Yes.
You and your wife will be on my private jet. Because I promise you, they're gonna be like, what you think I should do, Dr. Love? Oh, okay. Dr. Love said. Because I don't want to have no stroke.
So Dr. Love, as Brother Tony say, land the plane. As we move forward, so who's replacing you? Who's who you training up? Who you mentoring? All of this good information.
Is there anyone in the 7th region that would love to join the 3-year training program?
Oh Lord, Dr. Love.
I have a
Seventh
3-year
region, y'all out there. Seventh
Come
region.
on down to
drop
South
it.
Florida, family.
Oh,
that
That would
would be the logical thing. So I can send you a copy of the 3-year training program. I think it's necessary. I think every family should
Yeah.
have a healer, just like every
Yeah.
family has an
a
accountant
business,
or a
right?
lawyer that they can
Mhm.
go to. Every family
Mhm.
should have a healer, and I think the people that I train should be that family healer.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
is beautiful.
Yeah. So,
Thank you for asking that question, Sister Felicia.
oh yeah, that was the
Wow.
top of the question at the top of the hour. I was like, man, okay, Dr. Love.
Golly, Dr. Love.
Yeah. Give thanks. Praise be to Allah. Praise
Okay.
be to Allah. Okay, so
Do the knowledge corner, Sister Felicia. And
The knowledge corner.
yeah, so the knowledge corner. So a healthy heart can have many benefits, including improved blood flow. A strong heart can pump more effectively, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the body's organs and tissues, as we have gotten 101 in that. So we should be real clear on that. Reduce risk of heart conditions. A healthy heart can lower the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other conditions that can lead to emergencies. Better lung function. Regular physical activity can improve the lungs' ability to function. Improved mental health. Exercise can release endorphins and other chemicals that can improve mood and reduce stress and anxiety. Longer life. A healthy heart can help you live a longer, happier life. And as the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us and continues to teach us through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is that you don't start living till you in your 70s. I think it's 75, right?
I'm
You
going
don't
to be
start living till
celebrating
75.
75th birthday, November 3rd.
Oh,
Ooh.
well, those are the magnets. Oh,
Those are-
yeah. I've had the AccuDetox, but I haven't had it with the magnets. I had the AccuDetox.
So
with the
those magnets make you
acupuncture.
lose weight?
Yes, they do. If placed in the right place. And then I also have a detox kit with all the ingredients in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Dr.
And
Love,
the
I bought
instructions.
magnets from you. Can you speak about how they improve circulation? Because I bear
Yes.
witness to it.
So if you think about the acupuncture point or the acupressure point, and you have a magnet in behind the ear and a
Mhm.
magnet in front of the ear, they
Mhm.
click together.
Right.
Now, the hemoglobin molecule carries oxygen.
Mhm.
The center of the hemoglobin molecule is iron. So when you have a magnetic field and the blood is running in between the magnetic field, it
Mhm.
makes all the oxygen molecules line up,
Line up. Yes.
which trigger tissue repair.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
So
Mhm.
we can put magnets on the heart point, which would A, lower blood pressure, and 2, increase blood flow to the heart. So without even seeing me, I could send you the magnets, show you where the heart point is.
Yeah.
There's another freebie.
Adding value, dropping jewels.
Listen, y'all, I just want y'all to listen. Let me tell you how, okay, Dr. Love is already telling you just pretty much how easy this is, right?
Yeah.
It is really easy. And I'm just sharing my screen really quickly here. All the information that Dr. Love is saying is literally on his Facebook, on his website, like literally. Look at that right there. $70. You honestly, with $70, you can go out and eat for over that price. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is the detox. for $200. For a family of 5 going out to eat one meal, this can save your life for eternity.
It's an investment.
It's an
in your health.
investment. It's a life investment. So these are things that I encourage you all to take a look at his website. And honestly, as soon as my husband get off this conference call, I'm gonna order some of these. I am getting, it's 4 pair of magnetics to place on the ear. How long do you have to have them on the ear?
1 hour a day.
1 hour a day. For how long?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. My
I've
God.
shown up to your home, your practice, Dr. Love. I've seen them in your ears. when I come and see you, I bear witness that you don't even, it's not just you're saying that this works. You are a living testimony.
Right. I
That
would
this
not recommend anything to anyone that I don't do myself.
Right.
Wow. So please, I encourage you to take a look at his website, these certain techniques, and Dr. Love, I wish you was in Jacksonville. Oh my God.
I'm only 5 hours. Send a private jet. I'll come up there.
Send a private jet. You know, I'm
Actually,
look.
My mother grew up in Jacksonville, and we have a
Really?
we have a home there. We have a beach house in
Oh,
American Beach.
yeah, Fernandina.
Yeah, next to Fernandina. So I would love to come up and do a program in Jacksonville.
Say less.
Say less.
Say less.
Done.
Let's make it happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just tell me when, and we will have cars, whatever, to pick you up, whatever the case may be, we'll make it happen.
Second week of January.
Second
Dang,
week
I
of
was thinking
January.
sooner than that, but okay. Second week of January.
No, this is good
It
timing.
takes,
Because
it takes
you-
time to raise the
listen.
audience
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it does. Yeah.
in January to lose 30
second
pounds
week.
and
Listen.
to get energized.
And I want to be the walking testimony. So I want to be able to say, hey, look, this works. And then with our, so-called Negro people, we have to really tune them up to making sure that they have, the proper, funds and things of that nature. I just. So with that being said,
He said Negro people.
so-called Negro people.
Negro
So-
people. That's the proper terminology.
Yes. So the second week, yes, it's on. It is on and popping. Okay. I already put it down. All right.
Woo!
So, I have my last thing, and then we can close out. And this is
Okay.
our self-care.
Self-care quote,
Yeah, our self-care quote. Okay.
which is perfect for this program.
It is very perfect for the program. It says, as you grow up, you will have your heart broken more than once, and it is hard every time. Your heart breaks too. So remember how it feels when your heart was broken. You'll fight with your best friends. You'll cry because it's times that, it says you'll cry because time has passed too fast, and you will eventually lose someone that you love. So take too many pictures, laugh too much, love like, and never ever hurt. because every 60 seconds you spend upset is a 60 seconds of happiness that you will never ever get back.
I love it.
So,
love it.
with that being said, Dr.
This is
Love,
Kalila. Don't we need to support
oh, we definitely need to
programs
support,
like?
but definitely support. Listen,
We need
yes,
to support Dr. Love, but
definitely
this
support
program
Dr.
also,
Love.
we need support.
Yes,
And if you can find it out of the kindness of your heart to donate whatever you can tonight
yes,
to ensure that we continue to bring to you quality programming that is geared towards saving lives, please make a contribution tonight. It could be a couple of dollars. You could put $5 on it. You can put $20, $100, $1,000 if you like to. We ain't gonna stop you if you put up that much, but anything that you could give, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. If you've benefited from this program or any of our programs in the past and any future programs, we have to think of the future, dear family. Please support so that we could continue to provide this kind of support for you. And may Allah God continue to bless you and your families.
brother. Dr. Love, do you have a Cash App?
I do have a Cash App.
What is it?
Let's see.
You want to support your Cash App, brother?
Yeah. What is it? Can you put it in the chat, brother Tony?
I will.
Let's see. Where's my Cash App?
It's here somewhere.
TD Bank, Square. Okay.
You got it?
Okay, there it is. I got it. It is $.
Uh-huh.
Doc Love 49.
DOC.
DOC Love 49. $. DOC LOVE 49.
Gotcha.
Let's support our brother.
Okay.
We thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight and sharing this invaluable information, Dr. Love.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know, I could do a part two, Dr. Love.
We have to do a what?
A part two.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we just scratched the surface with this.
See, there you go.
We just scratched the surface. And there is a way, because so being a member of the organization, of being a follower, it gives you purpose and it gives you focus. But the destiny must come from within. Okay. And a lot of people join organizations because they are followers. But I encourage followers to eventually become leaders. Because after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, well, you got to reach back and help people.
Mhm.
You can't just.
Yeah,
You
good
know,
follower is a good leader.
You gotta
Dr. Love, Jesus's disciples graduated into apostles.
Uh-oh.
So what do we look like not doing the same?
As you speak it, Brother Tony, so shall it be. I love all of you. I feel like you're my real family.
You are real. We are real family.
I promise you. I promise you, I want to kidnap you right now. I mean, like, you like.
Okay,
We're coming to Jacksonville. Y'all stay tuned. Dr. Love will be in Jacksonville. So Tallahassee, Gainesville, Pensacola, who is surrounding us? Tampa, brother Chad. Okay.
All right.
Hey, we gonna make it happen. Listen, you want to get healed? Okay. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube is not the healing.
Right.
That's not healing. Okay.
Those memes that you see while you're scrolling, a lot of bean soup science. That is not healing.
Right. Exactly. So please, 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 I encourage you, stay tuned. And we're gonna have Dr. Love on the show for a second.
We've already had
showing.
him a bunch of times.
Like I said, he's the number one favorite. So
come on.
So that it's all good. So, Brother Tony, close us out.
Dear family, thank you so much for tuning in. May Allah God continue to bless you. Next week, tune in, same time. I'm not gonna say same bat channel. We're not dealing with bats. But we are the 7th Region Core.
Look at that, Tony.
May Allah continue to bless you.
Likewise.